Hey everybody, I just saw Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem. It was a lot of fun. It was directed by Jeff Rowe and Kyler Spears, written by Seth Rogen, Evan Goldberg, and Jeff Rowe. Now, I've loved the previous Ninja Turtle films. I mean, growing up in the 90s, you had the classics wearing the full costume, suits, animatronics all rolled into one, and I could still quote many quotes from those films. Always love when Raphael rolls over the front of a taxi cab and the cab driver responds to the passenger who asks what the heck was that. The cab driver says, "Looked like a big turtle in a trench coat." Or when he meets KC, and KC's like, "Hey, up for a little cricket?" And Raphael's like, "Cricket? You got to eat crumpets to play cricket." Anyways, love those. I loved this film. It was so much fun. It was exactly as it was advertised, I would say, from the trailers. These are teenagers that are goofy and trying to be accepted out there in the world. They get exposed to a bit more of what humanity has to offer through April O'Neil, who they make contact with, and she's a teenager herself. And from there, she gets to show them a little bit more of the world. And unfortunately, the world doesn't really accept mutants, as we see in the film. So, non-spoilers real quick, really enjoyed it. This is probably 7 and up if it comes to kids. Like if you want to take your kids, maybe 5 and up. Wasn't too scary or violent, but there was a number of fight scenes and really cool sound mix, and the villains were intimidating. So yeah, I definitely see this film playing on Paramount Plus or on digital for a lot of families to help babysit throughout the whole, I'm sure, fall season. There was an opening message at the very beginning of the movie from Seth Rogen thanking people for buying a ticket and coming out to the theater. And I think that's a really good gesture for any filmmaker to be like, hey, thanks for going out of your way to buy a ticket, because it's one of the best ways to support this film. And if you do like the film, vote with your dollars to go see it, or if you want to see it, or go see it again if you're willing to, or buy it on digital. It's just you vote with your dollars, in the world of Hollywood. That's how it works. The opening setting and mood was really cool. It reminded me of Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, just creating that tone. And this film has a really good soundtrack. Now, a lot of the themes that are in this film are mirrored in, different films and coming-of-age stories, but how they're mirrored between the villain and Splinter when it comes to parenting and caring for your own was really fascinating. So we'll get to that a little bit later. The Turtles want to be outside, the difficulty of parenting in a modern world, and it's a rough go with the humans. Splinter tries to take them out to see the world, but the humanity rejects them. So that's why they learn martial arts. They learn how to defend themselves. So a little bit of changes from the original story, but it's all right. It works within the tone of the story that's being told in this film, and it doesn't seem to take away from the spirit of the characters, which is really important. So really enjoyed that entire sequence of going through this backstory once again of how these turtles became turtles, and it's because of the ooze, as you'll remember from The Secret of the Ooze. And they're right, it is cooler to say ooze than goo. Jackie Chan is great as Splinter. He makes the character feel heartfelt and genuine as both a father and a protector. And if you're a rat that gets mutated into, a big rat, a lot of people are going to reject you probably, just like we, take care of regular size rats. The Turtles did great, man. Micah Abbey is Donatello. Shamon Brown, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Shamon Brown Jr. as Michelangelo, Nicholas Cantu as Leonardo, and Brady Noon as Raphael. Now, when they get grounded and Donnie says, "Nice going, leader," to Leo, I felt that, dude. I felt that. You have this camaraderie amongst these brothers, and when they have one that is the leader, that's the one that they're going to lean on when things go bad, and those are the ones... that's the one that they're going to blame when things go bad, too. So feeling that dynamic in the script and these small little moments and scenes with the Turtles themselves was great. You really felt the genuine brotherhood that they had and the innocence that they had still in their teenage years of wanting to discover the world. I feel so many times when we've seen the Turtles being portrayed, they're larger than life, of course, because they're talking turtles. But sometimes you're like, are they teenagers or are they in their 20s? But these guys definitely felt like teenagers. And I think that helps with animation to be able to tell a story without being so bogged down with the real world implications of trying to have these turtles fit in the real world, be it through puppetry or through CGI, when you can just create this animated world with such a fantastical product. I mean, think about somebody coming up with the idea of, oh, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Originally, it was kind of like a semi-parody, you know? But because I think they were so original and different, yet tying into the pop culture craze of the time of martial arts and comic books, it stood out. And to see it be such a big franchise these days, years after, in many iterations, has been wonderful. And it's been mostly under the Nickelodeon umbrella. And you'll see the Nickelodeon symbol pop up at the beginning of the film. Now, Ayo Edebiri was great as April O'Neil, a character that is honest and does the right thing. Realizing doing the right thing for the wrong reasons has a price, and that, you know, doing the right thing because it's the right thing to do should come first. Having that be a narrative structure and character arc for her doing a story on the Turtles in order to be liked at school because she had thrown up on camera and everybody knows her as Puke Girl. Yeah, you want to be able to change your reputation to do so with good work. There's no harm, no foul with that type of motivation, but when you realize, are you doing this for the wrong reasons? You know, doing the work itself, people will like you for just doing good work. It'll come later. Just focus on doing the right thing. And the Turtles having to go through that type of similar character arc of, you know, we want people to like us. We want to save the city so people can like us, but it may not turn out to be that way. But we still got to stop Superfly. We still got to do the right thing no matter what people think of us. And that's the importance of being a good leader. And so Leonardo having that, stepping into that role as well, along with the rest of the Turtles having their own diverse personalities and interests, stays true to the spirit of those characters. Just like when I was a kid thinking Donatello was a guy that knew the computer stuff, Michelangelo was more of like the prankster, the good time dude, Raphael was more the macho, bigger guy, and Leonardo was the hero. You know, we got to do the right thing. So it still feels that way with these guys, but to feel this dynamic through this original script was great. It really was familiar, but something new. Ice Cube crushes it as Superfly. It was fun to have a group of mutants played by a variety of actors and comedians, and the plot centered around acceptance, you know, dealing with the world for what it is versus what it can be, and the world saying no to the mutants. So Superfly was going to mutate every animal and take over the world and say bye-bye to humanity, which that's where the duality comes in between Superfly and Splinter. As parents trying to protect the people that they care about, they themselves, even though they're justified in their causes, they may think they are, they turn into the monster. There's a difference between mutant and monster. And to have that realization within Splinter, recognizing that he was so concerned about his boys being protected that he was stunting their growth. He wasn't letting them be happy. And that's an important lesson, I would assume, for any parent to understand when it's time to let go, to let their teenagers start to see the world and experience it for themselves, and they're going to get hurt. Everybody does. I'm sure it's tough to see that as a parent. But, you know, to experience that with Splinter, with a mutant rat in this movie, again, shows you that there was a lot of care in this script and with these characters. And Seth Rogen has had a lot of care with previous animated endeavors that he's been involved in, along with other shows that I really enjoy that may be kind of fantastical in their premise but have a lot of heart in their script and in their story. Stellar animations and fight moves. This animation reminded me, again, as I said, of Spider-Man with its uniqueness. And it's like some of the faces are slightly off. I'm like, why is not everybody, but a lot of faces are slightly crooked and stuff. And it kind of reminded me a bit of like Corpse Bride or that stop motion Nightmare Before Christmas style, where some things are a little bit off, but this was completely built inside of a computer. So to feel that texture and richness in this world and make it feel like it's its own thing, yet familiar with the way that we've been experiencing some animation these days, was great. And I hope that other studios can lean in more to this technology of like, not everything has to look super clean or pristine using computer graphics. We can create these very distinct worlds. We as video game players have been enjoying that for a long time. You can have Unreal Engine be the tools that you use, but you use the engine to make something totally different compared to other creators. The ending had such a great showcase of the variety of different skills and weapons that the Turtles used. Some of the fight scenes that they had midway through the film were great. Of course, Giancarlo Esposito shows up at the very beginning as Baxter Stockman, the scientist that was doing the experiments, because he was lonely and wanted to have a family of mutants. It was a big boss battle at the end, but coming together of the Turtles and the other mutants and the city, the people of the city rose up, just like in Spider-Man, to help them, was cool. And it was a really cool ending sequence that got to feature great animation, great movements with the different characters for this big boss battle at the very end. And I'm glad that it was not a blue light shining into the sky where the entire world was doomed. It was like, no, this guy turned into a giant mutant monster that was terrorizing the city, and they had to take him down. I don't know how they were milked. They had this running joke of being milked. And there was a milking machine at the end of the movie, and the Turtles were getting milked out of the machine where it was taking the ooze out or something. The milking was such a running gag, I expected Homelander to show up. But, yeah, they definitely had a couple laughs because of that. This film does lay the groundwork for more, so yeah, the Turtles save the day, the mutants work together at the end, and Superfly is defeated. The groundwork for the future, though, is Shredder. And it shows a brief glimpse of Shredder during the mid-credits scene. And I got hyped. I got so hyped. I've always wanted Shredder to be in a Mortal Kombat game. Or Injustice. We got the Turtles in Injustice too. But they need to do Shredder right, especially his look, because soon Hyperion will be made, and the Shrike will become part of pop culture. Now, Hyperion is a book series by Dan Simmons. It's a very awesome sci-fi book. The Shrike is a 9-foot-tall Shredder/Terminator, all rolled into one horrifying menace that can time travel and all sorts of crazy stuff. It ain't for kids, all right? But this film, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem, is for kids. I definitely get to purchase this on disc. Definitely will buy it on digital to enjoy the animation once again and enjoy the sound mix. So those are my thoughts for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem. I'd love to know your thoughts down below. Did you see the film in Dolby like I did? Did you see it on a regular screen? Or do you plan to watch it on digital or when it arrives on Paramount Plus, probably in a couple months? We'll see. But I hope that you do support the film, because I would love to see a sequel or Shredder. And this film does deserve your dollars. It does deserve your time. And it's a good time with the kids. All right, everybody. It's YouTube. You know what to do. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you online.